Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Resident Evil HD. Last video we made it to the residence and we got a bit of a chance to start exploring this area, but we didn't get that much done and we're not out of the woods yet. There's still quite a bit left to do in this area. We're going to continue on. First things first is to push this box. And we're going to be making a bit of a stairway with the boxes that are pushed up against the wall. The reason for this is to avoid walking in the middle of the floor. If we do that, we're going to get attacked, and we don't want that. If I can avoid taking damage, then I will do so. And with that, we are now in a new hallway. Newspapers lie scattered about. They all seem to contain articles about S.T.A.R.S. This door is locked. That is the gallery. There is a big shiny map at the end of this hallway, which is going to showcase the rest of the residence to us. And the map was covering this giant hole in the wall, but I would recommend not looking into the hole.
No, that wasn't part of our deal. But it's not necessary to destroy S.T.A.R.S. What about my family? If I play my cards right.
Huh. That is definitely Barry. I wonder what kind of sneaky shit he's up to. It didn't sound very good.
Jill.
Barry, I heard someone talking.
Oh, you heard. I think age is starting to take its toll. Talking to myself is becoming a bad habit.
Talking to yourself? You all right? What's gotten into you?
I'm getting you worried, aren't I? But don't, I'm all right. I guess this creepy mansion has gotten to my nerves. Anyway, I think I'll go outside, get some fresh air for a change. Don't worry, I'm just going to get some fresh air. If I'm lucky, I'll get to waste some monsters along the way.
Oh, Barry, you are so full of shit that your eyes are brown. Jill wasn't born yesterday. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that you're up to some sinister things. I kinda liked Barry until he pulled that whole stunt. Who knows what he's been doing behind our back. Anyways, there's a report here that we can read, which is pretty important. This is about Plant 42. 4 days have passed since the accident. The plant at Point 42 is growing at an amazing rate. Although there are many unknown aspects about the plant, we know that in comparison with the other group of plants, the T-virus has had a substantially stronger effect on this one. The T-virus has drastically morphed its host's anatomy as well as its size. Looking at its current state, it's difficult to imagine its original appearance. Nowhere on Earth will you find anything like it. We've also found that Plant 42 has two main sources of acquiring its necessary nutrients. One source is through its root. Somehow it has rooted itself down into the basement. Immediately after the accident, a scientist went mad and destroyed the Aqua Ring. Ever since, the basement has been like a pool. There is a high possibility that it's one of the chemicals in the water that's promoting the Plant 42's rapid growth. However, we have yet to determine the specific chemical. A bulb-like body of the Plant 42 has been sighted hanging from the ceiling of the first floor. We are sure that it has used the air ducts to reach the first floor. Numerous long, tentacle-like vines are protruding from the bulb. We believe the vines are the second means of acquiring its nutrients. When the plant senses prey, it uses the tentacle-like vines to capture its prey, and after doing so, suckers on the vine drain the prey of its blood. We've also noticed that it has some intelligence. When it captures its prey or when it's inactive, the vines twine around the door to stop possible intruders. Unfortunately, several of our scientists have already fallen victim. When we heard the stories from the survivors, they all observed one thing in common. When the uniform petal-like flaps open and reveal its vital internals, it has a tendency to become more aggressive. One witness reported that it was as if it was trying to protect itself. Why it behaves the way it does is still unknown. So yeah, that giant plant that we killed with the chemical up on the first floor was only a bulb of a much larger plant that has rooted itself in the bowels of this area. So that's fun. We're going to be seeing much more plant. Plenty more where that came from. We're going to grab the residence key and we're going to get the heck out of here for now. We are going to be coming back here, obviously, because I had pushed back those bookcases to reveal a ladder. Don't really have the key that's necessary at the moment, though, so we're just going to have to go back and use the current key that we have. And the key that we got is the key for room 001, which is right across from our safe room. And once we use it, we can throw it away. One-time use only. Ooh. That's ominous. Excuse me, buddy. I'm just gonna sneak past you here and loot this place. In this room here, you've got a couple of things to take a look at. We can pick up a few magazines of handgun bullets. There's also a self-defense gun on the table. This is a one-time use gun. You can equip it and it kills whatever enemy has hold of you instantly. And along with the gun is a suicide note. June 22nd, I had to do it. We ran from those things, helping each other to survive. But Robert started to show the symptoms. I had to do it. Those damn things are pure evil. There was no other way. He would have done the same if it were the other way around. After I put him out of his misery, I had to just leave him in the bathroom. Now I'm probably the last one. How could this happen? I'll never forgive myself for being part of this project. Eventually I'll get what's coming to me, though. There's no way to escape from this nut house. It's just a matter of time now. Everything is set. All I need is a little courage to get it done. Knowing that I'll leave many things undone is regret beyond words. But this is better than just waiting to turn into one of them. Please understand and at least let me end my life as a person. Linda, please forgive me. Yeah. That's not good. We've cleared out the items in that room. So now we're going to go into the bathroom. We're going to drain the tub. Oh boy. Something tells me that guy wasn't quite dead. We'll have to deal with him on our way back out. By draining the tub, you get the control room key. And if you get close enough to his buddy Robert there on the floor, he will come back as well. I would recommend getting all the items in that room before the body drops down and reanimates, because then you can avoid both enemies completely. You can see that we cleared out the room and we had no need to bother either of them or waste any of our ammo. This key is the control room key, and with that key, that is going to allow us to go down into the Aqua Ring that was mentioned in the memo along with the Plant 42 information. And a quick note about that zombie, by the way, it only comes back in Jill's campaign. In Chris's campaign, it remains a hanged corpse, and you don't really have to worry too much about it. So a slight variation. Back in room 2, thought I could sneak past him. He might be... Nah, I think he's in my way. I don't really want to kill him, though. Because I'm pretty certain he comes back as a Crimson Head. Oh well, we'll deal with that if it happens on our way back up. Now that we have the control room key, we can take the ladder down. And we can start exploring this area. There's a couple of boxes that Jill can push. Because apparently she can't swim this short gap, so we're gonna have to create a bridge out of the boxes. And she pushes them very, very slowly. They must be empty, though, for them to float, so they're just big-ass boxes, I guess. I don't imagine them being very heavy, but to be fair, I mean, they're pretty much as big as Jill is. She completely disappears behind the box when she's pushing them. So once we push these 3 boxes, it'll create a little shortcut for us here. Not really even a shortcut, technically, because this is the only way to get past this area. Into the next area. There's an herb here. If you have the inventory space, hopefully you do. I should have actually gone back to my item box because there are quite a few little nifty pickups we're gonna get that I may not have room for. And there are sharks, which is lovely. Now they will try and bite you, so you want to keep your ass moving. And what you want to do is just move along the outside of this area. So basically just keep running in a straight line. I went ahead and unequipped my weapon just to make me run a little bit faster. I don't think that's necessarily essential in order to avoid the sharks, but I find that it helps. We can use our control room key, and then we will be in the control room, obviously. In here are a few things that we can take a look at. On the wall is a map of the Aqua Ring. And there's also a little whiteboard here for us to examine. Caution, in case of a drop in oil pressure control, open valve number 1. There is a first aid kit on the floor. And there's a little puzzle for us to solve, because if we try to open up this door, it's full of water. The memo had mentioned that a researcher went crazy and flooded the Aqua Ring, so now it's going to be up to us to unflood it. An error message is being displayed. Something appears to have gone wrong while the water was being drained. There's a switch to drain the water. Press it. Yes. Oh dear. That shark does not want us to drown it.
Pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
Okay, so for this puzzle, we can release the safety on the pressure shelter. After that's done, we can go ahead and try and pull down the pressure shelter. But it gets stuck. Oil pressure lost, shelter operation terminated. Restore oil pressure, then release the safety.
Reaching 30% of pressure threshold.
The oil pressure valves are over here, and we need to press switch number 1, which was indicated on the whiteboard, which will pretty much reset that entire sequence that we just did. So now we can try this again. We can release the pressure safety.
Reaching 50% of pressure
and then
threshold.
pull down the gate.
Activate emergency drainage system immediately.
And it works that time. Perfect. Now that that is done, we are able to safely drain the water. So yeah, take that, shark. The water has been completely drained. We've picked up all the items in here. So we can move on. I think I've got enough space to pick up these shells. I will need at least one slot free, though, in order to pick up a key item in this room. Now, there's going to be a bunch of sharks in here, but you can completely avoid them. All they're going to do is flop around. They're of no threat to you. And wade your way to this little platform here. But unfortunately, now we're trapped with one big, pissed off, still living shark. That has our key. But we're gonna change that. We're gonna fry us up some dinner. Electrocute the crap out of it. And then we can pick up our key. This game really has a big problem with animal abuse. A lot of these earlier Resident Evil games have a lot of animal-type enemies, whereas later games have more grotesque, sort of BOW-type monstrosities. So now we've got our next key, and we can head back to the residence. And if you have enough inventory slots free, you should be able to pick up the rest of the items in here, and we won't need to come back to this part of the Aqua Ring. We will be coming back here a little bit later, but for the time being, we are finished in here. And we managed to pick up everything on our first trip, which is great. That door is now unlocked, so we don't have to bypass those boxes that we had placed earlier. I'm gonna quickly equip my shotgun. I don't trust that zombie. Oh, okay, perfect. I was sure he was going to come back as a Crimson Head. But I'm very happy that he didn't. Now that key is going to allow us to gain access to the gallery. But for the time being, I'm going to go back to the safe room, because we made quite a lot of progress in this video and my inventory is also completely full. Which is going to be a problem, because there's going to be some more stuff for us to pick up. We're almost done in the residence, though. We should only be here for another video or two. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed our time in the residence so far. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.